I'm a lesbian, but I wasn't born this way. Are we born gay, or is it possible to make a positive choice to reject heterosexuality and decide to switch sides? Of course it is. Sexual attraction normally comes about as a result of opportunity, luck, or curiosity. For me, it all began when I developed a crush on my best friend at the tender age of 11. But less than a year later, I was in love with Colin. I soon fell out with him and gravitated back to my female friends. But the pressure on me not to be a lesbian was enormous, and I struggled with self-hatred and low self-esteem. So what made me finally decide I would embrace lesbianism? The feminists I met in the 1970s, who helped me understand that loving women can be truly liberatory. I loved the feeling that I'd chosen my sexuality. But have we returned to the essentialist notion that we are either born that way or that we are unthinkingly heterosexual? We have given up the pride in our radical sexual identity for a medical diagnosis with no scientific basis. But a number of scientists, in the main gay men, such as Kazi Rahman, Glenn Wilson and Dick Swab, yes, that is his real name, have devoted their efforts to proving the existence of a gay gene. Take neuroscientist Simon LeVay, who claimed in 1991 that gay men's brains were more like women's. Then there was the one that discovered that boys with older brothers are 33% more likely to be gay because they occupied a womb where a male fetus had already been. But none of the science holds water. And let's face it, bigots don't care either way. Last January, I went undercover to a Christian counselling centre in Colorado, posing as an unhappy lesbian who lost her family and her church when she came out. My character, Joanna, underwent a week of intensive gay conversion therapy, during which everything negative about being a lesbian was rubbed in my face. But do you think my therapist, Lydia, actually cared whether I could be turned straight? Whether I'd been born that way or made an immoral choice to become a lesbian? Or was her mission really to persuade me to stop having sex with women so that I could be welcomed back as a Christian? Needless to say, Lydia did not succeed in her mission, and I'm still very much an out and proud lesbian. But it is possible to be against gay conversion therapy and still argue against the existence of a gay gene. And yet the widely held view within much of the gay community goes like this. The estimated 3% of the population who are gay were born this way. We do not make a choice. Those who claim they choose to be lesbian or gay are not real gays. They're just experimenting. It is dangerous to say we choose to be gay because then the bigots will insist we can choose to be straight. Look, some gays might feel that finding a gay gene will end homophobia. Racism is not diminished because we know that blackness or whiteness is genetic. Sexism exists even though we know that sex is genetic. So when people ask, if being gay was a choice, then why would we choose to live a life where oppression, violence and discrimination are inevitabilities? It is obvious that they're confusing anti-gay bigotry with being gay. Of course, no one would choose to face prejudice and social exclusion, but many are more than happy to make that transition if the right woman or man comes along. Asking for our human rights on the basis that we can't help how we are is counterproductive. Let's put some pride back into our identity and stop apologising for it. Being gay or lesbian is obviously not a choice, like which sauce to have with your pasta, but more a mix of chance and, quite frankly, bravery. It is a positive choice, and if anti-gay bigotry disappeared tomorrow, many more of us would have the opportunity to choose it for ourselves.
I'm queer, and I've realized the rest of the world is too. When I first understood I was gay, I didn't like being called queer because I didn't like how naming me that set me apart. But I learned, just like being black or mixed race, that even having the same rights as everyone else doesn't mean being the same as them.